As hundreds of thousands of Gazans face starvation and mass famine, the Democrats and the Republicans have voted overwhelmingly for a bill banning funding for the main UN organization providing aid to Palestinians. The cutting off of funding for the agency, UNRWA, is the latest crime in the imperialist-backed Israeli genocide in Gaza. The day after Biden signed the bill into law, Israel announced that it would no longer allow UNRWA aid trucks into northern Gaza, which an UNRWA official said was a death sentence. Children are already dying of famine and malnutrition and are resorting to eating leaves in a desperate attempt to stay alive. More than 31,000 people are dead. Another 7,000 are missing, likely buried in the rubble of bombed buildings and houses. The vote in Congress banning funding for UNRWA was part of a massive $1.2 trillion bill, 70% of which will finance the U.S. military to wage war all around the world. Immediately after signing the bill, Biden called on Congress to adopt further legislation that would provide Israel with more than $14 billion, along with $60 billion to fund the U.S.-NATO war against Russia over Ukraine, which poses the threat of nuclear annihilation. Whatever phony UN resolutions the U.S. presents and whatever hypocritical and insincere criticisms of Netanyahu, the vote in Congress exposes the reality. The genocide in Gaza is made in Washington. It is being armed and financed by the United States and its NATO allies. And it is backed by both the Democrats and the Republicans. The Biden administration and the Democratic Party can never wash the blood from their hands, nor cover up their culpability in mass slaughter. As for Bernie Sanders, Ocasio-Cortez, and other pseudo-left politicians, they declare their shock over Israel's actions, but they are 100% behind the administration that has facilitated it. Ocasio-Cortez says that workers and young people must be adults and back Biden. Sanders declares there is simply no other choice but to support Genocide Joe. The Democrats are, of course, aware of enormous popular opposition to the genocide, to the expanding global war, to extreme inequality and exploitation. Their response is to wage an all-out war to keep third parties and independent candidates off the ballot. That is, that they don't want you to be able to vote for anyone who opposes the genocide and the policies of the corporate financial oligarchy. As a Socialist Equality Party candidate for president, I demand an immediate end to all financial and military assistance to Israel. All Israeli troops must be immediately withdrawn. A massive influx of emergency aid with no conditions must be allowed in to stop the developing famine. The SEP urges workers to take independent action to stop the transfer of any military or other assistance to Israel. The fight against the genocide must be waged as a fight against the Democratic and Republican parties, as a fight against the expanding imperialist war, including the US-NATO war against Russia, and as a fight against the ruling class and the capitalist system. The Socialist Equality Party is running in these elections to build a socialist and revolutionary leadership in the working class. I urge you to sign up and join this fight at socialism2024.org.